Algebraic Reasoning 2019, Semester 2 sample problems. The district is, for the first time, offering the assessment of course performance on algebraic reasoning, and they've provided 14 sample problems of the 24 that are going to be on the test. So these sample problems represents the content and the rigor of what the real test is going to be like. And I recommend to the viewer to just pause the video, see if you can work out the problem, and then play to see if you got it right. One, matrix A and matrix B are shown, and here you have a 3x3 matrix in both instances. And so it says which matrix represents A times B, and so you're going to take this thing right here is matrix A, and this thing right here is matrix B. And there are going to be a few matrix problems on the test, and unfortunately multiplying matrices, that's not very intuitive. And so my recommendation, if you're not really don't have this down cold, is to go to the calculator. Fortunately, we have a TI Inspire CX calculator. I'm going to show you how to multiply these matrices together. So if you go to menu, this is from calculator page, go down to matrix and vector, and then you go to create, and then create matrix. So it's 1, 1, 1. And we want a 3x3 matrix, so we just go over here and make that number of rows 3, number of columns 3. Okay. And so we have this, and we can just fill in A. So we're just going to say 5 tab, 2 tab, oops, 2 tab, 4 tab, 6 tab, 11 tab, 2 tab, 10 tab, 1 tab, and finally 12. So we have everything there. We go to the right, so we move the cursor to the right, and we're going to multiply, and we're going to go get matrix B. And to get that, again, where do we find that? Menu, 7 matrix and vector, create matrix. And again, we're going to want a 3x3 for matrix B, and we just come in here and enter this matrix B, 10 tab, 8 tab, 2 tab, 3 tab, 22 tab, 5 tab, 2 tab, 5 tab, 4. Okay, and you just kind of double check to make sure you've entered everything correctly. Just press enter. And here on the right is your answer. So the 6 top rows, 64, 104, 36. Okay, this is where we find it, 64, 104, 36, and we can see everything else is in place. So our correct answer is B. I hope you eventually learn to multiply these two matrices together, but until you do, rest assured you know that your calculator can do the job. Problem 2, a table of values is shown. Which function rule best represents f of x if f of x equals g of x plus h of x? Well, we can go ahead and make an analysis and maybe get cubic functions or whatever out of each of these by using a method. But we're going to add these two together to create f of x. Okay, and therefore we know that our output value for these two together are going to be the sums of g of x and h. So 3 plus 0 is 3. 8 plus 9 is 17. 23 plus 36. What is that? 59. And then I'll do one more. 48 plus 81, that should be 129. And so what you can do is look at these and see which ones could be correct. Now, already we're going to have a y-intercept this of when x is 0, our output's going to be 3. So we already know that we cannot have C, nor can we have A. So we can just try these one at a time. 5x squared plus x plus 3. So we go to our calculator, and we get a graph page. 5x squared plus x plus 3. And we graph that, but we go to table view. Control T. And do we get these values here? Let's see, we should get 0, 3. Let's see, 9, 25, 50. I don't think that's it, is it? Let's take a look at it. No, it's not it. So let's go ahead and try answer choice D. 14x squared plus 3. That has to be it. 14x squared plus 3. And so we go to table view, control T, and we get these, what should be familiar numbers here, right? 3, 17, 59, 129, okay. So that's going to be our correct answer, D. Should be a pretty easy problem. Okay, next. 3 is a college approaches. Mark is looking at his savings account and is wondering if he'll have enough money. The table shows a monthly balance of the savings account, including his initial deposit of $1,250. And then we have the table values. How much money will be in Mark's savings account when he starts college a year and a half after his initial deposit? So here we have a time unit. And I'm going to put its discrepancy, because what we have is months in the table, and we need to go to years, specifically 1.5 years. And so, yeah, a year and a half, and your sense of time should tell you that 1.5 years is equal to 18 months. I hope that would be just common sense to you. And so if we just continue on this path, we can see that we are adding, our Mark is adding, he starts out with 1250 and he adds 625 minus 1250. So he's adding 12, 7. He's adding 375 per month. So we can just go ahead and take that 3,500 and add 375 per month for an additional 12 months. So we can say, we can write it like this: 3,500 plus 12 more months times 375 per month. And you check also that this is 375, right? It's a constant. It doesn't say that. You have to really, doesn't say, so you have to figure out that you're adding 375 every time. You can see that. Well, if you put that in the calculator, you get 3,500. $3,500 plus 12 times 375, and we get $8,000. So $8,000 is going to be our answer, and so we can go bubble this in here. So we can put in 8,000, The thing, you can put these in any order. It just has to be consecutively correct. So you have 8, 0, 0, 0. And that is our correct answer. Another thing you can do is you can take half a year and add that a number of times. So there are different ways to do it. I think it's 2250 times 3. So you'd have 1250 plus 2250 times 3. That'll get you the same thing. There are a lot of different ways to look at this problem. Let's go on to the next one. 4. Ariana earns $3,600 each month teaching math. And I think she needs to go to a district that pays better because they're better paying districts. Anyway, she also earns $40 per hour for tutoring after school. At the end of the month, approximately 25% of Ariana's pay is deducted for tax and other withholdings. Now, what happens is this problem really tests your understanding of what percentages will do, like a rate. So if Ariana's 100%, so if you take 100% for pay and you subtract out 25%, how much do you have left? You have 75%. So 75% in a decimal form is equal to 0.75. So what we're going to need to do to find her pay at each month, she gets this much. So we're going to take this 3,600 times 0.75. She's going to make that. And when you multiply that out, you get $2,700. And then she also makes this $40 per hour. So she takes the $40 and that's going to be X. And we multiply that by 0.75. What do we get? We're going to get 30X. And so what we're going to get is answer choice A. Now, if you're not careful about this and realize the nature of taking 25% out, you would be tempted to choose answer choice C. But read carefully and don't fall for it. I'm going to try to trick you in certain problems, maybe in every problem. 5, what is the quotient of 6x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 34? Well, let's figure that out. You're dividing that by x plus 2. So there are a number of ways you can do this. You can use polynomial long division. You can put 6x cubed here plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 34 and divide that by x plus 2. Another thing you can do is you can use the remainder theorem. You can say if we take x plus 2, set that equal to 0, you solve for x is equal to negative 2. So if we plug in negative 2, that could help us understand what the remainder is. I think it might be D. But anyway, the one thing that we showed in this class is how to do synthetic division. So what you do is you take that value of 0, which is negative 2, and put the coefficients of the polynomial, which is your dividend here. So you have 6x cubed here, plus 2x squared, minus 3x, plus 34. And we're going to bring down the 6. So we're going to get 6x squared. Okay, so that's all. Already we know we can't have C or A. Negative 2 times 6 is going to be negative 12. Add these together, you get 10, or rather negative 10. And then negative 2 times negative 10 is 20. Negative 3 plus 20 is 17. Negative 2 times 17 is negative 34. So you have a remainder of 0. And so our correct answer will be answer choice B. And that's it. And if you plugged in -2 for x here and did it that way, you would see the same thing. I'm going to show you that quickly. Okay, if we put in -2 control vars a, use a instead of x. Okay, if we just type in 6x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 34, we're going to get, I should have put a. Let me put 6a cubed. That's what I meant to do. Plus 2a cubed, a squared, minus 3a, plus 34, we should get 0. Get 0, which shows that it is a factor. And so that would get you between A and B. B is the right answer. Okay, next. 6. Holly is building a new garden for her backyard. The table shows the total number of square feet for 6 different design options for a garden. Using finite differences and average rate of change, which equation best models the area of the design options for Holly's garden? Well, this one here, you can just type these in and see which one is going to give you the table value here. Okay, and you can try it one at a time. I don't know of an easier way to do this one. We go here, Control I. We'll just try them one at a time. We'll put 5x squared plus 2x minus 3. Okay, graph, go to table view, Control T, and we'll see what we have here. Option number 1, 4, 21, 48, 85, 132, 189, 6 is 189. That looks good right there. That looks like it's it, really? So based on that, you would have A as your correct answer, and you could see that you could try other ones too. I always encourage you with the time to try that. You could see where B would not be right. A was definitely right based on that. That's just beginner's luck. Make sure you try all the answers. That was a real easy way to do that one. Let's go on to number 7. The Booster Club is ordering custom t-shirts from Trayvon's Tees. The company charges a $35 design setup fee plus $5.99 per shirt. Sales tax rate is 7.75%, which function best represents C of T, the total amount Booster Club plays when you order t-shirts. Well, what you have to do is we have to understand for two things here. 7.75% is in decimal form, okay? It's going to be 0.075. And when you multiply to find the price including tax, what you have to do is you have to say 1 plus tax rate. That's going to be equal to your multiplier. So let's do that. If we take 1 plus 0.075, we're going to get 1.075. That's 0.775. Right. Just make sure we get that right. Equals 1.0775. So that's going to be our multiplier. So what we're going to do is take our 599 times 1.0775, and we're going to take our setup fee, $35, times 1.0775, and we're going to get these two numbers that are going to bring us home. So $5.99 times 1.0775, we get that, and we're going to take 35 times 1.0775, we get that. So 37.71, 6.45. So that's going to be our answer choice C. Next, 8. A cubic function is represented by the table of values shown. Based on the information in the table, which function represents the factored form of the cubic function? Well, what you can do is, the very first thing you can do is find your, if you plug in 0, you should get 54, right? So if we can take this -3 in this answer choice A times 4 times 9, we're going to get -3 times 36, which is not equal to 54. So that's incorrect. If we take this next one here, 2 times -4 times 1, we're going to get -8, which is again not equal to 54. For this next one, we're going to have 3 times -4 times -4.5. Okay. Three times -4 times -4.5, 54. That's going to be it. And then if we take this last one here, we have 3 times -4 times -9. Well, that's going to be 3 times 36, which again is not equal to 54. So it's not that. Then you can go ahead and take this in your, put this in your calculator, see that it matches the table value, it will. So C is your correct answer. Enter this in the calculator and graph. In fact, I'm going to do that right here, just to show you corroboration. Add graph. I'm going to put parentheses, x plus 3 times parenthesis quantity x minus 4 times quantity x minus 4.5, and then we graph that We go to table view, Control T. We should see that, right? 54, 42, 25, 9, 0. Yeah. 9, 0. Got 2, 4. You'll have 0 there. Yeah, that's going to be it. So that should be a pretty easy one to do. Next, 9. The Dallas Lightning Soccer Club is having a raffle to raise money for new uniforms. The club keeps track of the number of raffle tickets sold each day. The data is shown on the table. And here you have the inputs and output values. Maxine, the soccer club treasurer, used the function fx equals 50x minus 5 to represent the total number of tickets sold. Is Maxine's function a reasonable model when compared to the actual data in the table? So you can go ahead and enter that in the calculator, see what it looks like if you want to. So Control I, just going to put Maxine's function in here. We'll put 50x minus 5. So we have that. We go to Control T, see what's going on. Well, we have -5 on 0, which we don't see, but 45, 95, 145. Let's look at the table view. Then 183. Okay, that's 183. So 45, 95, and 145. But then this one here should be 195, right? And this one should be 245. 295 and 345. Okay, and then these ones here are exact matches. So is this reasonable? Says, well, no, data cannot be represented by a linear function. Well, it kind of is, and it's not real close for certain things, but is. Some of the numbers are exactly right. No, because it's not reasonable. On day 0, there were -5 tickets sold. And if we go back to the calculator, we'll see on day 0 we have -5 tickets sold. So that's not reasonable. So it could possibly be B. Yes, because the average rate of change is equal to the slope. Well, it's not exactly, because we're not going to have the same slope over this interval quite, because we'll have 337 minus 45 over 7 minus 1. So $337 minus 45, and we're going to divide by 7 minus 1, which is 6. So we get 146 over 3. Control, Enter. Still 8.1. Not exactly. It should be 50x. That's wrong somehow. Let's go to that. Should get 146 divided by 3. Let's try it again. 146 divided by 3. Enter that. And we're going to divide that by 6. Okay, that's going to be, well, 6 points, not going to be 50. Now that's not going to work out. Really, your best answer choice is going to be B. Yeah, it's not exact tickets. We know that's not right. That's a little bit tricky, but B is going to be your correct answer. Next, 10, we're going to look at a graph here. The radius of sphere R of S is represented by a function R of S equals the square root of quantity S over 4 pi, where S represents the total surface area of the graph. If the radius, and we have the graph here, radius versus total surface, if the radius of the sphere is 4 inches, so we go to 4 inches here, what is the approximate total surface area of the sphere to the nearest square inch? Well, if we go to 4 here, and we go to our graph, we come right here. We come down, and so it looks like we're going to have 200 square inches. Based on, that's the best reading of the graph we can have. We can try that. Another thing we can do is we can put 4. So it looks like it's about 200. We put 4 equals square root of S over 4 pi. We can work it out that way. And if we square both sides, we're going to have 4 squared equals S over 4 pi. And so if we cross multiply, S is going to be equal to 4 squared times 4 pi. And we can put that in the calculator. So we have 4 squared times 4 pi. So we get 201.062. Yeah, to the nearest square inch. So that nearest square inch would be 201. So we put 201 here. Now the real temptation here is to look strictly off the graph. And if you look strictly off the graph and don't go deeper into the equation, you would pick 200 instead of work it out and get 201. So just a caution. Work it out every which way if you can. 11, the graph shows the function f of x equals 12 times 0.25 to the power of x. What is the value of x when f of x equals 3? And so what we have is y equals f of x. And if we go to 3, what is the value of x when f of x equals 3? It looks to be 1. You can test that out for sure. Okay, if we plug in 1, f of 1 is equal to 12 times 0.25 to the power of 1, which is going to be 3. So that checks out. So C is our correct answer. 12, if M equals this 4x3 matrix here, what is negative 2.5 M? Now fortunately, this thing is much more intuitive than that first one we did, problem 1. In fact, just kind of looking at, you're going to have every sign changed as you multiply across. And just looking at these, I'm thinking if you multiply by M, you're going to get, looks like D. Intuitively, that's the way it's going to go. But let's go to our calculator again, be sure. Okay, so we're going to have negative 2.5 times, and we're going to go get our 4x3 matrix. And while we get our matrices, we go to 7, 1, 1. And our number of rows we want is 3. And number of columns we want is 4. So, okay, so we can just type in everything here. So 14, 12, tab 13, tab 0, tab 2, tab -4, tab 9, tab 9, tab -3, tab 16, tab -4, tab 2, and so we check everything right, and we're going to get, let's look here, yeah, exactly, D. D is exactly right. There it is. So D is our correct answer. Now this is really quite intuitive. Next, 13, Samantha has 12 gallons of gas in her car. The table shows the relationship between the number of miles Samantha drives and the number of gallons of gas she has in her car. Here you have a table of miles versus gallons used. Samantha is driving to her grandmother's house. It's not mile gas used, gas left, I guess, in the tank. And predicts she will not have to buy gas until after she gets there. Grandmother's house is 64 miles away. Is Samantha's prediction correct? Well, she's going to have to get to 64 over here, right? And she's going to have something greater than 0 in the tank. So let's go ahead and figure this out. Well, we can get a slope of this. So we can say we have slope is going to be change in y. So we have 6.3 minus 12 over 30 minus 0. So we're going to get a slope there. So let's go to our calculator. $63. Oops, not 63. 6.3. Minus 12. And we're going that over 30 miles. So negative 0.19. So that's our slope, negative 0.19. So if that's going to be our function. So we take miles it's going to be plus 12 because that's going to be our y-intercept. And so f of 64 is going to be negative 0.19 plus 19 times 64 plus 12. Okay, let's try it out. Negative 0.19 times 64 plus 12. And what do we have there? It looks like we've run out of gas. So you could look at it another way too. If you say, okay, 30 miles, went 30 miles, 5.7 gallons. So how many miles could she go? 63. So 12 times 63.2. Let's try that. F of 63.2 is going to be equal negative 0.19 times 63.2 plus 12. Let's try that. Yeah, so that's going to be about close to 0. So we didn't quite make it there. So we'll say no. That's going to be it. You can get to 60 miles because you're going to have about 0.6 gallons left. That last 4 miles. So quite the thing there. Okay. Let's make sure I have this. Yeah, okay, that's right. Okay, next, 14. Viviana and Jeff both work at Uptown Bakery. The owner kept track of the number of donuts. And which matrix represents total number of cakes, cookies, donuts, and pies? Well, this is kind of overkill because it's pretty, you should see 6 plus 3 is 9, 12 plus 4 is 16, 8 plus 2 is 10, 4 plus 1 is 5, and you just go down the rows here, and you're going to see that C is your correct answer. It should be really quite intuitive. You could go ahead and do a 4 by 5 matrix and add them together like we did earlier in that very first problem, but that's really not 100% necessary. So that's the correct answer. Anyway, these are all the sample problems. Some of them will involve some analysis. But with the calculator and the basic algebra skills that you carry with you at this point, I don't think it should be too bad. I hope this has been helpful to you. Good luck, and thanks for viewing.